What was I talking about? Oh, right. Hello people of YouTube, welcome to Creative Readers, etc. The channel where we do a bunch of random crap and we post it on the internet. And some of it's creative and some of it involves reading. Anyway, so you clicked on this video, so you must know from the title that it is my April bullet journal spread. Now, for this month, I did Set It Off for my theme because I love that band so much. Their music is so good, and their album came out, I believe, in February. Their Midnight album came out in February, and so many of those songs I was just in love with, so I decided to do it. And I decided to pick a crap ton of quotes from those songs and letter them, and that was painful and it took forever, but it was totally worth it, so stay tuned to see the results. So for my April bullet journal, I decided to do Set It Off as a theme. So right now I am drawing their new logo, the hourglass, including April on the top and Set It Off on the bottom in the font that they use. I'm coloring in blue, and then I'm coloring the background completely black, and I had this brush pen, and it was so streaky, but it's okay. And it also created like a weird film feeling over the page, so that was interesting. And when I was doing this, I decided that the black made the blue a bit too dark, so then I outlined all the letters in white. I'm outlining my calendar in the same spacing as last time. The weekdays are once again in that font, and I added the old logo in the top left corner. Same with the numbers, they're all in the same sort of Set It Off font. This quote is from the song Why Worry, and it is on the Duality album. I just like the quotes in some of these, and they're supposed to be inspirational, and then I drew a little clock. And I wish I kept it like this, but I hate white space, so then I decided to color the background an even darker blue, which kind of just made the page feel a little bit more busy than I wanted, but I'm still pretty pleased with how it came out. Moving on to my mood tracker, I wanted to include something from the Midnight album, but I did not want to draw the Midnight cover because you ain't gonna see me drawing hands. So I decided to do an hourglass with one of my favorite songs. So I included the quote, falling through the hourglass, my moods, good, average, great, terrible, bad, and eh. And then I did the background wavy lines. Moving on to the habit tracker, I'll go back and color the mood tracker in a second, but the habit tracker, I decided to do the Horrible Kids album cover and have each kid, I suppose, represent a different habit. So I replicated the look of the cover with the font and the people, the best I could at least. I did the hourglass, and as I was coloring on the top, you see I quickly gave up because my marker ran out. Yay for reliable markers. Right now I'm using a dark blue to color the wavy lines, and then I'm going in with a different shade of dark blue to color in the other ones for it pops. So I'm just coloring in and following through the hourglass with the blue. I did blue for the downstrokes to make it look like faux calligraphy, but with a blue pen. For the habit tracker, it was pretty straightforward. I just colored the background red and then the hair black because I was not planning on splitting up the hair as days. Okay, for my homework and tests page, this is my least favorite album actually, and it's upside down, but I thought the spacing was perfect to put the homework on the left and tests on the right, and it left with plenty of space to write down the abundance of homework that I have. So for the finance tracker, I did the cinematics album and put finances on the top, and then sports stats and budget, and I didn't mean to put budget, but I guess I just did, and book list on the bottom. Coloring in the homework and test page had to be my favorite because how simple yet beautiful it ended up looking. Okay, moving on to coloring the finances, I couldn't blend my watermarkers. I couldn't blend the super tips that well, but I still wanted to get that fiery aspect, and I think I did pretty good. And same with the finances, I had to fade the gray up to black. For the background, I purposely did it messy because in one of the versions there's like a bunch of words in the background, but I didn't want to make my spread too busy, so I just did it messy to create kind of that feel. So, yeah, here's this clip. First quote is from Killer in the Mirror, and that's probably my favorite, second to Lonely Dance. And then this one is Lonely Dance. I'm not super satisfied with how all these quotes turned out. I'm happy with the composition, but once I color it, it kind of loses the aspects I was doing, but color choices are my weakness. So I just have to keep practicing and hopefully they'll get better. Anyway, I'm just showing me tracing the quotes on camera because I was kind of in a rush to fit. I wasn't in a huge rush, but I was in enough rush to have to do most of it off camera at school. But this has to be my absolute favorite layout, and it is Wolf in Sheep's Clothes from the Duality album. My favorite song from the Duality album. And this is the only song in the weekdays that is from this album. The rest are from the Midnight album. The next one is from Unopened Windows. It's probably my favorite slow song on the Midnight album. And you might notice a grammar mistake. Just ignore it. But this one turned out pretty good. It felt a little unbalanced. And then my final one is Dancing with the Devil, and this is probably my second favorite composition of how the quote turned out. Okay, so this is the flip through for my April 2019 bullet journal spread. My journal started falling apart in the center, that's why there's a weird white line in the center, because as I worked on it, the glue pulled apart, so I just have a white line down the middle. But I think my favorite spread was the upside down for homework and tests, which is ironic because it's my least favorite album, but I think it turned out my favorite page. My weekdays didn't turn out the best color-wise, but I still really enjoyed making it, even though it was very tedious to color the background. So yeah, thank you for watching. Was my bullet journal setup for April of 2019. I really hope you enjoyed it. I spent a lot of hours drawing, sketching, outlining, coloring, and all that stuff. So I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing, liking, commenting, doing all that YouTube-y stuff. That's my video. I hope to see you in the next one, and yeah, bye!